Welcome into Tribune Sports Live Super7 Week. Johnny, I always say it. It's kind of our little cliche thing. I can't believe that we're this far in the season. We are already down to championship week. Yeah. And I want to acknowledge our guest who's going to be in the Bodine Classic Cut and Color Coach's Corner, Coach George Bates of Shades Valley. Coach, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we're going to talk to you a second, but I need to see what's going on in Johnny's world. He's got a few things to talk about.
Yeah, just a couple. Moody flag football.
Yep.
We'll be talking about state championships here in just a little bit. Moody flag football, they'll be playing Wednesday at 11 for the state championship. So congratulations to them. Sort of a programming note. If any of our teams win state championships,
when they win,
when our teams win state championships, next Monday we will be live from Ferris Artisan Ales, the reserve, which I think is above Umami over there. We'll be doing the show live with those guys to celebrate with them. We'll still be live, on Facebook and YouTube and Vimeo and all the things. But we encourage the communities to come out and celebrate with us. We want you guys to come, hang out, have some food, celebrate with your people. Also, so that's kind of the good.
That's the good.
I'm gonna complain a little bit now.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I guess now,
Yeah.
Friday, I got 2 phone calls in the same day. The first phone call was in the morning from Jamel King, head coach at Centerpoint, former now head coach at Centerpoint. The text I got was from James Thompson, now a former coach at Pinson. And coaches come and go.
Yeah.
We get coaches who leave, we get coaches who get fired, whatever the case may be. But these two were real head scratchers.
Yeah.
I understand that 2-8. We'll talk Centerpoint first with Coach King. I understand 2-8 is not what you want.
Yeah.
In a team, but you got a coach that took over a team that lost 22 seniors.
22 seniors.
And I just don't understand a one and done for something like that.
Yeah.
Now, I'll preface both of these by saying maybe there are things that I don't know. I don't
know
everything.
You always like to say there's 3 sides to a story.
3 sides to every story. But I just don't get it. That was a head scratcher. But the second one, personally hurt a little bit.
That's even more of a head scratcher.
Yeah, even more of a head scratcher. James Thompson at Pinson. James sat here in this seat and
filled in for me when I was in Miami.
For you, year before last. So it's a little personal when it comes to Coach Thompson. Much like it is, when we talk about Coach Bates. There's good relationships with all of our coaches, but Coach Thompson went from a 1-9 coach to a 4-6 coach that really should have been a 7-3 coach. Just a play or two here and there, and watching their progression, how much better they got from year 1 to year 2, to find out that he was let go after his second year. Another head scratcher. I'm not gonna get into all the things that we've heard since it happened and the whys and the hows. It doesn't seem to be good.
Yeah.
From my point of view, and this is me personally. This is what do they say? The opinions stated here don't reflect the Tribune.
That of the Tribune.
That of the Tribune. It's me. I just don't see. I believe it. If I'm getting this right, this will now be 4 coaches in 6 years at Pinson Valley High School, and I have to ask the question: number one, what are you looking for in a coach, and how is a coach supposed to build a program when you've got this type of turnover?
Yeah.
We're going to be talking to 2 football coaches tonight, Coach Bates, and then we'll talk to Coach Floyd from Trussville a little bit later on. Maybe they can shed some light on it, but I don't understand how, as an administration, you can just look at the history. You can look at the trajectory that Pinson was going in.
Yeah.
The improvements, all the things that were going on there. And I saw the kids from his first year to this past year. The kids were bought into what James Thompson was doing there. James Thompson and his staff, who are now left without jobs. And I just have to question, how are you going to build a program if there's this much turnover, and if there's not a good reason for it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
the 2 things that jump out at me is anybody that wants to go back on YouTube and watch Clay Chalkville, go back and find out what Coach Stuart Floyd said about the Pinson team, how dangerous they were, how close they were. We had conversations with Coach Floyd off camera about how concerned he was with Pinson, with the athletes they had, the improvement that they had made. They were going in the right direction. And then I think about things that jump out with me we'll talk about Shades Valley, but you look at Coach Higginbotham when you're talking about the late 90s. He was let go when he was really at the height of his success. He goes to Tuscaloosa County. He takes Tuscaloosa County to multiple playoffs. Then a few years later, you get Coach Bill Smith in with Deron Payne. That program had turned a corner. There was a change that was made. And these are just head scratchers. I'm not saying one side is right. I'm not saying the other side is wrong. Right. We don't know all the details, but we're just a couple of guys that get to know these coaches, get to know the players, and it's just concerning when we see those things. And we really hope the best of those guys, because I think you really have to, in today's society where you want success so quickly, I think you sometimes have to hold the rope a little bit longer and allow folks to do their thing.
Longer than 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Especially if you see, progress. And the other thing, to add to what you said about Stuart Floyd, talking about Coach Thompson and his Pinson team, Josh Floyd also played Pinson this year. And his comments, I was at that game, excuse me, his comments after the game were, this team is way better than what they were last year when we played them. So, again, a head scratcher. I don't understand how you expect to build a program if you're going to have that kind of turnover. But, that just is what it is. I know it's part of it. I try not to get too, emotionally attached to, whatever. But these two just really baffled me. So, again, maybe there are reasons. Maybe we'll find out later on. Maybe we won't.
Yeah, but they were good guys, and we really enjoyed them. They gave us time. They, you can't ask for anything better than what we have with those guys. So.
100%. And Coach Thompson, we will get you back on to co-host next time one of us have to miss.
He'll be in my seat. And talking about coaching changes, we had a couple on the collegiate level that's actually trickled down and affected a couple of players. We won't mention names. We won't go into commitments or anything, but I'm sure if you're looking out on X, there have been a couple of pretty high-profile decommitments from a couple of schools. So, all right, so we've gotten that out of the way. Let's get to the good stuff here. All right, 100%. Bodine's Classic Cut in Color Coach's Corner. I mentioned that earlier. All right, tell me what Tina did to you. You got trimmed up for Thanksgiving?
I got trimmed up for Thanksgiving. The Tuesday before Thanksgiving, Tina hooked me up. And I'll also mention Freddie Flowers, the voice of the Clay Chalkville Cougars. He's got a 2-week standing appointment down at Bodine's. Tina cuts him and his grandkids' hair, and Henry Williamson, our other writer. So I'm not the only one that's on the Bodine's train. So if you need your hair done, need your beard cut, Bodine's Cuts and Color, Classic Cuts and Color is not a bad place to go. Yep,
we always kid about it, but right down here in Trussville and out in Hoover. How's that, Johnny?
That's perfect.
All right, Coach George Bates, Shades Valley head coach, year 1. Welcome in, Coach.
Glad to be here, man. We're glad to be here.
Well, we texted offline, and Johnny and I talked about, wow, Tribune Sports Live is not the same when Coach Bates is not on here, but you have had your head down working this year. And you had a couple of opportunities to come in, but you felt like, hey, team's more important, these kids are more important. And Johnny and I, we thought we were fired up about that.
We said amen to that.
So, absolutely. So, look, you've been a head coach. You just finished your 14th year. You got 98 wins. 11 out of those 14 years, you've been in the playoffs. So I know this time of year right now feels a little weird to you to not have a team in there. But just to highlight, and on social media we have highlighted, because when you were at Centerpoint, you were the king of social media, putting everything out there. You have continued that over at Shades Valley. And anybody that's been watching X can see, I mean, facility upgrades. You've honored retired jerseys, which has been an ongoing thing over there for years to try to get that. And that goes all the way back to Ben Tamborello. You've got Alvin Bressler. You've got Bonky McCain. You've got Deron Payne. You've got those 4 players. For the first time in years, I've actually seen signage around the football stadium. That has been non-existent. The mentality, I mean, we talked all year long about 39 players or something like that. But the mentality of those guys that stuck around and stayed, they played for you. Your leadership council that you've developed over there, your complete scholar-athlete recognition. recruiting when you have people on campus. I mean, it's completely different from what it has been over the years. So I'm just going to shut up, and I'm going to let you talk about your first year taking over that program. You know, talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, just what it's like to lead the Mounties last year.
Well, it's, I'm honored, to be the Mounties coach. But just to be quite honest, I'm always transparent. It was tough. And tomorrow we're having our, senior lunch and then team recognition, and that's going to close that chapter, that book of 2025. And so we can look forward to what's coming to us. But this is probably my third or fourth rebuild, but I looked at this as more of a transition year. It was kind of getting used to the school, getting used to the players, learning the history of Shays Valley, and I'm still learning it day to day. I get texts or mentioning on this day, but I'm still learning different things like that. But and also with the staff. So it was a deal. It's a big transition. I set back a little bit more than usual to kind of take everything in, and because everybody that knows me, I'm close to retirement, so this is my last one, so it has to be right. And so we just been talking to the kids now, man. We started, like I said, it's the first time in forever we hadn't been in the playoffs. So every Friday night we go and watch games and learn things, but we started up. We got done on that Thursday. We talked to the team that Friday. We've had some staff changes since the last game of the season. That following Monday, this technically this is our fourth week, of the off season. And so like I said, we got a leadership council in, and we're just moving forward. We know what happened this year. We got to get our numbers up. That's one thing. Before we got here, had a few hours, and I think I called every 8th grade parent. And I think it's 22 of those 8th graders, and I think I got in contact with, 19. And so everything we're doing is pushing forward. January we'll open up, we'll open the team up to anyone that wants to come out. So we hopefully we pick up at least 10 to 12 of those guys, and hopefully 7 to 8 of those guys to stick, throughout the semester. So we know we have to get our numbers up. We're in the process of, like I said, hiring a couple more, coaches, that kind of, have the same vision, that wants to be a part of the vision that I have for the program. Not forgetting about the seniors, pushing those guys out to try to get those guys exposure to go on and continue playing ball. Making sure we finish this semester up strongly academically, so it's a lot, it's a lot goes on day to day, but at the end of the day, we're not proud of, the results, the 2 and 8, that we put on the field. And that's one thing that, the Mountain Nation has my word, my staff, word, and these young men's word. We're going to turn it around. We're going to give you guys something to be proud of real soon.
Coach, we've heard the term leadership council a couple of times, and we've had other teams talk about their leadership council. Talk to us about what that means and what that entails for their players.
It's weird, like he says, my 14th year, but I always saw the schools and other programs do it, and I was like, And so when we did it, I was like, okay, coaches, are we gonna choose who we feel that's leaders or have the pulse of the team, or are we gonna let the kids truly choose? So we broke down, well, of course, not the seniors, but 9 through 11, those 3 different classes, and they just say, hey man, come in. These are the 9 juniors. Vote. Who do you want to represent your class? And it got down. I said, it's not about the popularity. Who's the coolest kid? It's not that. Who do you want to represent your class? Because I meet with those guys weekly on different things. So, and a couple of them, it shocked some of the coaches. Like, oh, he didn't get picked. They chose. So, but you can see, that the seriousness of it. And so now, like if it's a consequence or, somebody may be late, okay, like today, we called them up at the end of workouts, and they kind of got to me a little slow. So I said, guys, look, when it's time, when I'm blowing the whistle at the end of practice, you got a certain amount of time to be up on the knee, let's go. So what's the consequence for this? All right, coach, we ought to do this. All right, let's go do that. So it's like, also we're going to ask them, like, things, of course, uniform, what do you kind of want, what type of uniform do you want, things of that nature. But I wanted to wear, like the weight room today, Coach told them, hey, instead of us calling out, first quarter, this is going to be the lift, this is the auxiliary lift, it was, hey, leadership council is on the board. You go do it. You tell the team. So I wanted to where, and we still got to keep our hands on them. We're going to do that, but I wanted to where they lead. These is who you voted on, and we tell them we as coaches we have the right to. You're not holding up your end of the bargain. We can take you out the council, and if we see somebody that's doing above and beyond, they can be added to the council. But it's just it's today. It's new to them because they don't. What is that, Coach? It's new to them, but we just want them to be accountable. But we want them to be want this to be more of a player-driven, type team.
Yeah. Well, take a second and talk about some of your seniors and I talked to some of those guys and really tried to tell them that, look, you're on the ground level here. You're the first year. You're the foundation. And you had a couple of guys you had a number of guys that stuck around with the program. And just talk a little bit about those guys.
Man, we have 15 this year, and I've been telling them, man, I was talking to my principal, after, I guess, the Pell City game, which was senior night. And I think it was senior night, but the Pell City game, and we were still mathematically involved in the playoffs. Played a great game, fell short 21-14. And that kind of put the nail in the coffin, that kind of did it mathematically. So, I told them when we got in the locker room, I said, guys, I failed you. I failed y'all. And they were kind of like, man, I failed y'all. I said, honestly, Mr. Hunt, I was hired here to change what had been going on. I said, I failed y'all. I said, I apologize, I can't get it back. I said, but the program is in better shape. We really feel that, because we can tell by the tears that were shed that those guys really, really poured all they had into it. And it's tough, man, because, the program is changing daily. And like we told them, when you come back, you might not even recognize a lot of the stuff that's going on. Like you guys, that first year, you're not going to get what the underclassmen are going to get. You're not going to get the full program. I said, I got the job in January. Majority of the staff wasn't together until basically the beginning of the summer. I said, then school is in. I'm like, guys, I hate it for them, but they're not going to get the full program. And so we try to do all we could to get them the best experience, possible, by doing certain things, having outings. That's the first time they had been on the charter bus, in high school. Things that eating off campus, going to restaurants. We try to do all we could to give them a great high school experience because they're not going to recognize the program once they come back as soon as next year. And it sucks, truthfully, because it's kind of like you think they feel like they're almost forgotten because they see, oh, Coach, y'all getting that next year? Y'all doing this next? Yeah, we are. You guys laid the groundwork. I know tangibly you might not be able to touch it, but you guys started it. But they know it's gonna be open doors, come back. Anytime they want. Sidelines can always be open. And but like I said, it's, at the end of the day, I feel as if I failed them because I was brought in to change. What had been going on for us playoff wise, and I didn't get it done. So that's one that it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the truth. I was brought there to change. It will get changed next year. It didn't happen 2025, but I can't. I hate this taste in my mouth. Y'all talking about championships on Monday and all this and that. I'm rooting for all. I'm rooting for everybody in Tribune land. We got Moody and we got Clay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm rooting for those guys, to go ahead and bring it back.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things, even though you're beating yourself up and you wanted the record to be better, I actually went to y'all's last game down in Tuskegee. And that was a game where you mentioned this and alluded to this a little bit, but you gave the kids an opportunity to do some really neat things. You mentioned that a lot of the kids had never been on a charter bus before. They went on a charter bus. They went and they got to do a bowling activity. Mm-hmm. They got to go to Alabama State and do warm-ups. And to me, that was Coach George Bates planting the seed of this is what we're going to be doing next year on the charter bus, because we're actually, if we're not hosting a first round game, we're going to be on the road in the playoffs. But what I saw, and after being back around Shades Valley after 5 or 6 years, that team down at Booker T. Washington, who had some talent, a couple of LSU, Florida commits, the Shades Valley team never quit. They never quit during that whole thing. And those seniors, I was so proud to see how they acted to the end. And so you're being tough on yourself, but I can definitely see the culture is changing over there.
Yeah, and from somebody who didn't go to Shades Valley, John's plugged in there. I'm not, but just from a distance, like somebody, if I am just a casual fan, but I have this job, but just looking at the differences between last season and this season, just it's daylight and dark, and you got not that you need it, but my stamp of approval. I can see the change coming, but on the field, let's talk X's and O's a little bit. What has to happen in order for you to get on that charter bus or host that playoff game next year?
We did our end of the season meetings individual with the kids, and we have a nice sized freshman class, and quite a bit of those guys started, and it's like we told them, said, look, everybody always said, man, grow up, and I had to tell them in the meetings, I'm like, man, I apologize. I said, look, there's no way I can force you to grow up.
Right.
Only thing I'm going to ask you to do, hey, mature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm starting to, use my words correctly, like mature. I can't ask you to grow. You can't go from 14 to 17 right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? But just mature, man. And that's one thing. We got to get some older guys out in the building, because we have about, I think, 17 or 18 freshmen right now. And like I said, it's 22 8th graders.
Yeah.
All right, so we were extremely young this year. If we don't get any older guys out in the building, we're going to be young again next year. Now, you can look for it, and in 3 years, we should be amazing.
Yeah.
But like you said, how we started off, the show, you may not get 3 years.
Yeah.
So the staff and, we know that we need to get older within our school, within the building, to get some guys out. And football, they have to learn that football is a year-round deal. We want our guys to play other sports, go out and do it. We want you to. But it's a year-round deal. So we're starting to instill in them now, like, hey, there's no days off. We send the calendar out on Sunday to the parents and the kids. Sunday through Friday, this is what's going on. So they're starting to get into that. But get more kids out. Get the more coaches in that's aligned with the vision. I think we'll be fine. It's just it has to happen. Now.
Yeah.
In so many words, like it has to happen. We told them, like, we don't talk about the playoffs right now, because we start looking. I think our guys now, something they've never been in, on the team, so they can't talk about something they've never done. So only thing we talk about now is, like, look, man, get caught up in the day. Let's get the most out of we can get out of the day.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the week, we put those 5 great days we got in the bank.
Yep.
We can't talk about the playoffs. Now, I can talk about it to you guys, like we better be in
14.
it. But the kids, if they start talking about, we're going to make the playoffs in 26, that's next October, November.
Yeah.
So what we going to do in the 10, 11, 12 months in between time? Just wish and not give my all in the weight room, or not give my all when we doing OTAs and things like that. So we're trying to get them to focus on, man, don't focus on right now. If we do a whole bunch of right nows, the playoffs will take care of itself.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get them guys to focus on the task at hand, daily. I don't know if Coach, I think Coach got something. Is it the only, what Coach, I shouldn't even be doing
No,
that.
that's okay.
Coach, it's something y'all, what's at Hewitt, I see a bunch, the hashtag.
Today matters.
Today matters. Yeah, I see it on his deal. Like I'm on social media
I know.
scrolling. But like that's, today matters. Trust the process. Their whole day. This sounds cliches, but if that's the truth. If we worry about making the playoffs, right now, like, man, we gonna miss so many things that we need to be doing and to get to that point,
Right.
So we're just trying to teach those guys, playoff teams do this daily.
Yeah.
And that's kind of
just
what,
show them what to do.
exactly. That's kind of what we focus on right now.
Well, as we wrap up, there's been a lot of talk, maybe you guys dropping down to 5A possibility. I mean, we're here December 3rd. What's the possibility of that at this point?
I check the numbers out daily, so it's, and that was one of the deals during the interview process in January, December. It was a deal where, in the interview, like, hey, it's a possibility that, we'll be dropping down just due to, we got a unique experience, unique situation. We have the JCIB, we have a whole school, we have 2 schools, in which I'm learning, 2 schools in one.
Yeah.
2 schools on one campus. Well, 1 school is leaving, 1 school is staying. So that's about 300-400 kids gone in January.
Yeah.
I think the board, has already met with the state over in spring to let them know, like, because we didn't know if the school was going to be available in January. It was going to be next school year, but in January they're gone. So we'll have 1 school on 1 campus. And with that being said, and you just look at the numbers, it looks like, off the past numbers, we will be a 5A. And if we get off the past numbers, like 21st, 22nd, largest 5A.
Okay.
But things can be different because who's moving up, who's moving down, what's going on with the private school deals, are they going to be?
Yeah.
So you really don't know. The new 5A could be today's 6A.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just don't know. But off what's been going on historically, we should be a 5A, and it's. And then you get to thinking about what regions. I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
it's
North, South.
it's 2 regions I think we can be in. I mean, we right there. We're 10 minutes from Leeds.
Yeah.
So in the Leeds, Moody, or you can go in the more of the Birmingham region with Winona, Ramsey, Brown. So you just, it's been tough trying to schedule, because there's 2 regions that's almost 20 teams that we can't call to see if you want to play because we don't know if we're going to be in the region. So it's been tough trying to get, open dates lined up because we could be, Coach Hood texts, hey, we're not in the same region. You want to continue playing? So, Coach, how can we not be in the same region?
Yeah, gotta be.
But that's kind of the deal. But we're looking forward to, if we go down to, if we're looking forward to being a 5A school.
Yeah.
Just me personally, looking forward to teams that had, we played in the best region in the state this year. So a transition, starting to rebuild, and in your region you have I consider right now the best team in the state, all classifications. You got a Mountain Brook that made it to the 3rd round. You know what I mean? So it's just a deal. Pinson had, extremely talented coach, did, great job. Had a, couple tough breaks.
Yeah.
Pell City, which I can see us in the mold of a Pell City.
Yeah.
New coach, bought into the culture, got better from year 1 to year 2. They made the playoff both years, but I can see, but that's the region that we were in.
Yeah.
And it's
tough.
It was tough. So
tough.
Don't forget Oxford.
and Oxford, their tradition. Like,
Make it even worse.
Yeah. So, but no, I'm me personally looking forward to 5A just due to similarities amongst numbers and and just that situation.
Yeah. Well, super bright days ahead for you guys. I know you've got the backing of a fantastic principal, Dr. Sirhan, who gets it about football. He understands as football goes, a school goes. You have Mayor Stewart, who understands the importance of football and what that means to a city. So you've got good backing, maybe a good classification. And Johnny and I have a sneaky suspicion you know how to get it done. You're going to get it done.
Absolutely.
So, well, hey, we appreciate you coming in.
Thanks, Coach.
You had your head down working. We understand why you didn't come in, but we were so glad to get you in one time before the season got over. So thank you. All right, well, Coach George Bates of Shades Valley. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with Coach Josh Floyd of Hewitt-Trussville.
It's Friday night, under the lights.
Your hometown heroes are ready to deliver another big win.
And just like the team on the field this year, Dom's Ford is ready to deliver a big performance this season.
Whether you're hauling a camper, driving a family vehicle, riding around in a Bronco with the top down, Dobbs Ford is going to give you the best price, the most for your trade, and the best customer service.
At Dobbs Ford
We're proud to support our local teams.
and our local families.
So come see us.
All right, welcome back in. All right, Johnny, a lot going on out here. We got a full house again.
We do.
All right, so Bodine's Classic Cut and Color Coaches Corner, segment 2. Yep, we've got head coach Josh Floyd of Hewitt-Trussville. Welcome in, Coach.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right,
If you ever decide to grow out a beard, go to Bodine's and get it trimmed up.
Sounds good, man.
Johnny goes.
I do every now and then.
You got the same. You got the same.
No, I got the same issue. I got gray in there too now, so it's not as pretty as it used to be.
Awesome. Well, Coach, you wrapped up your 12th year. Your Huskies finished 8-3. Got 98 wins, at least at Hewitt. We're not going to count the Arkansas wins. You got a ton over there and a bunch of championships over there. But in doing a little bit of research, I looked this up. Your Huskies have been ranked when you look at preseason and the final poll. Starting in, now you guys were ranked before this, but there was a few weeks break. But since August 3rd of 2020, that's 72 consecutive weeks, your Huskies have been in the top 10 in 7A. And you achieved something that had not been achieved at Hewitt since 1991. Your Huskies were ranked number 1 in 7A. So Johnny and I talked during the course of the year. Just a lot of different things going on, a lot of injuries. Just talk about your season in general.
Sure, and I appreciate it. I mean, yeah, it was a really fun year. Some ups and downs.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, we hate the way it ended. I mean, it was tough. You know, I mean, it's one you probably never get over in some ways. You know, because we felt like we had an opportunity and ended up, you know, we give the other team credit. They made less mistakes than we did that night. You know, and so it's disappointing. I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the year, there's only one team happy the last game. You know what I mean? And those are the facts. And so it was unfortunate ending, but that doesn't take away anything from this team. You know, they did a great job. Love this team. It was a lot of fun to coach this team.
Yeah.
You know, did a lot of great things. Like you said, we started the year 6-0 and we're ranked first in the state. You know, for the first time in almost 30 or 30 something years or whatever. You know what I mean? And so, you know, the goal is to end number 1, obviously. And so, you know, those are some great things. You know, and it was tough after the season. You know, because you know I love that senior class, man. You know, it's a special group. You know, I have one of my sons was in that group, so you know, we've poured into those guys. I mean, I've been working with those guys since they were in the first grade. You know what I mean? And so it was hard. It's heartbreaking, honestly. That it's over, no matter when it ends. It's always tough, and so you know it's been tough to get over that, but it doesn't take away anything from what they did this year. You know, and they did a lot of great things. You mentioned injuries. I mean, that's real. You know, it's not an excuse, and we've got to overcome that and everything. But those are facts too. You know, we had way too many surgeries. You know, we had some. You know, we had a lot of offensive line injuries.
I saw
which
a terrible
are tough.
one in
you
Tuscaloosa.
did. Yeah, you did. You know what I mean? And the disappointing thing about that was, I mean, we knew offensive line wise, you know, we weren't going to be the biggest group up front this year, but we were excited about what we had because we had guys coming back.
You're right.
You know, unfortunately, 2 of those guys were seniors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you have a senior quarterback, you know, ends up having to have surgery after, you know, week 2.
Yeah.
And then your other freshman quarterback comes in and he ends up getting hurt.
Surgery.
You know, and he has surgery. So we had 2 quarterbacks with surgery. You know, so those are real issues. I mean, whatever we want to say or whatever, those do matter. We've just obviously we still had opportunities. You know what I mean? And we didn't quite take advantage of them that last game. But you know, but again, I'm super proud of this team. Love this group. You know, I told our seniors, you know, that next week. I mean, you know, you need. Yeah, we're disappointed how it ended, but you need to hold your head high, man. You need to have pride. I didn't know all that stuff about the rankings, but I did tell them, I said, guys, I know the last 5 years in 7A football, y'all have the 4th highest winning percentage. Yeah. So, like, you've won more than 28 other teams. Yeah. That's something to be proud of. That's hard to do, you know. Now, the goal is to be in 1. It's not to be 4. We all know that. It's my goal. It's our school's goal, our city's goal, everybody. You know, everybody wants to be first. So, you know, we're just going to keep striving to get better in different areas. Yeah. Man, you know, just really special group that we're going to miss a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Talk about replacing those guys. You got, I'm sure, Trussville every year. It's kind of like a reloading. You know, you have several. You have signing day with a bunch of guys up on that stage. Talk about what you've got coming in to replace these guys like Dylan Cope and Deuce Austin and the other guys.
Well, it's hard to replace those guys. I mean, those guys
absolutely.
Those guys are big time players, you know, and really played well this year.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what you want. I mean, it seems natural, but you expect your seniors to play at a high level. Yeah. And I thought a lot of those guys, even though they were good their whole career, I felt like their senior year, they jumped up, man, and really balled out this year. And so it's hard to replace those guys. We have a lot of guys on defense that were seniors this year. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think you have a lot of missing parts there. But you know, offensively, partly due to injury, you know, I think by the end of the year we only had 3 or 4 seniors that were playing on offense. Yeah. So you know, you end up with, I think the last several games, offensive line, I think we started a freshman, 2 sophomores, a junior, and a senior. You know, you only had 1 senior on the O-line the rest of the way. And that's tough in 7A football. It is, you know. And so I think offensively, you know, a guy like Jack, freshman quarterback, he ended up playing way more than he probably thought.
He was our player of the week.
Yeah, right.
He
exactly.
He was up here with us.
Yeah, and so, like, I think, you know, but that's going to help, obviously, moving forward.
Yeah.
So, but we're excited about what we have coming back. Some really good players. The 9th grade team went 8-0 this year. It's a really good group of kids. And again, there were times we played for. I mean, 2 freshmen started several games. Yeah. There was a game. I can't remember which game it was late in the year, but we had 4 freshmen on the field at the same time. We scored a touchdown on offense. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, like, I think those are some positives. Yeah. You hate those things have to happen because of injury. Yeah. But I think, you know, there are some
ready for the
big
future.
Bright spots coming up. But again, it's like that every year, man. You have to replace kids. Yeah. And guys get their opportunity. But we've got a really good group coming up. We're excited about those guys.
Yeah. So as excited as we are about the future and what you've got next year coming back, and we fully expect Husky Fast to be really fast next year. Just want to talk about the seniors a little bit, and you talked about those guys. I mean, Johnny and I get the opportunity to get to know these guys, and it seems like there were just so many guys on that team, from Woogie to Derek Cope to you know, there were so many characters. James Kelly, who unfortunately did not get to play his last game. Yeah. Deuce Austin. I mean, these were guys with just big personalities. And from the very beginning, when we sat over at Ferris's and talked about that team, they all talked about a brotherhood. And during the course of the year, we would have them in as y'all made team of the week or whatever. We heard that echoed over and over again. And in listening to you talk about those guys, because your son was part of that senior class, just one final time, talk about those seniors and what they mean to the Hewitt program.
They mean a lot to us. You know, again, this group have been together for a long, long time. Yeah. You know, and so they've. Again, I remember when they were first graders winning a little championship in youth league football. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so they've worked hard to get where, you know, to where they got, and you know, to be where they're at as players, and for our program. And so, I mean, there's just so many of them that have poured into this thing for so long, and I think it was important to them. You know, I mean, they wanted to win, and some of those guys are going to sign this coming up Wednesday or even in February, and that's special and that's a big accomplishment. But I think they truly enjoyed being Huskies, you know, and playing for Hewitt-Trussville, and I think there's a lot to be said for that. You know, sometimes these days, and even if it's a kid that might play college football or basketball or whatever, I mean, sometimes they lose sight of that. You know, parents lose sight of that sometimes because there's things are great, you know, and they're free college is awesome. You know, those are all big time things and sometimes life changing things. But I think that there's nothing like high school sports, and every one of our kids that goes and plays college football, they come back, they're like, man, the coach is great, but man, I'd love to go play one more high school football game. I'd love to come back. I mean, they're all there on Friday nights when we go, you know, the next year, whether they're playing or not playing. If they are playing, when they come back home, they go to the Friday night football game, and they want to be on that sideline, you know what I mean? So there's nothing like being a senior, your senior year. And again, it didn't end the right way for I hate it the way it ended for them. Yeah. But I just, again, they've put a lot into this thing. You know, and we're not one of these teams that has 15 guys move in every year and all that. Yeah. I mean, it's guys that have grown up here for the most part and have poured into this thing a lot. And so I think we talk about the word legacy a lot. Yeah. And we really think these guys have left a great legacy, you know, not that they're perfect, you know, and I told our younger guys, hey, you know, right now, things that you saw that were positive, and some things, hey, maybe we need to do better at this as a senior group, whatever. And so, I mean, no one's perfect, but like, this is a pretty special group. Obviously, good players, which makes it more fun. There's a lot of good football players in that group. So again, it'll be tough to fill those spots.
Yeah.
But again, I know those guys poured a lot into this thing, and I can't say enough about them and how much we appreciate it. Don't take it for granted. I really don't. And I think the more I do this coaching thing, I don't take it for granted when these guys finish all the way through, because it's rare.
Yeah.
It's rare.
It
If it doesn't go perfect for a lot of the kids these days, they cash it in.
And they're done.
And it's not about who plays, who starts. I don't care if they're a starter or if they play their third string guy. Just the fact that you finish this thing, man, it means something to me. And I think, the more I do this thing, the more I appreciate just, hey, you fought through all the stuff, man. I mean, even if it wasn't perfect, you're better because of it. And I genuinely appreciate that. You know what I mean? And they'll never regret it. That's what I always tell the kids. Like, still to this day, I've never met a kid that said, hey, Coach, I really wish I wouldn't have played my whole career. But every year, I'll have somebody come back, and Coach, I can't believe I quit. And I'm like, I know, man. We tried to keep, you know what I mean? And so, but again, they hear so many things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of voices out there these days.
There's
so
a lot.
they hear a lot of stuff. And so, but if they just keep grinding, they never regret it.
Yeah. I think one of the things that was the coolest pictures, and I think it came out after your regular season game against Tuscaloosa County, it was because your son, he had gone over 300 career tackles, I think, and Deuce had gone over 2,000 rushing career yards. I may have that wrong. But I think the very next day or 2 days after that, you posted a picture of those two together when they were like in first or second grade.
Yep.
And I thought that was just the coolest picture. We meant to get it up the night that we had Wi-Fi outage here.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a really cool picture.
Oh, yeah.
That picture and the one of Dylan Cope with Parker, Jack, and Peyton.
Caught touchdown
And
passes.
he caught a touchdown from all three quarterbacks.
Yeah.
How crazy, I was talking to DeMond, his dad, one day, and I just started thinking, I was like, man, all three of my sons threw a touchdown to Dylan. I would have never thought that would happen.
That's crazy.
He started his sophomore year, so Peyton, he better throw him a touchdown pass, so we're not going to be very good. And then Parker played so much defense.
Yeah.
He didn't play a lot of quarterback, but he did.
Yeah, he did.
His junior year, he threw a
He got it.
touchdown.
Yeah.
And then I would have never thought Jack would, being a freshman.
freshman.
But so I know it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But again, we've been with those kids for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, Deuce's dad was one of their coaches in youth football forever. You know what I mean? So it's just been, again, a lot of special memories, man, that you can't,
Can't.
Crud, I'm already sad about it being
Yeah,
over.
I
I
know.
really am, man. It's hard, man. I got one
drenched
more
it
left
all
to
up.
coach, man. You know what I mean? So it's
You got
been
quite a
fun.
few years with him, though. So
yeah,
that's
I got a
good.
few more years.
That's
That's
awesome.
be good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but you saw Thompson up close. You saw Opelika up close. How do you think the game's going to go?
I mean, obviously, two really good football teams. Opelika, the challenges they present, I mean, they're really big on the offensive line. Have a really good running back that's picking up some offers right now. He's a really good player. And so, where they hurt us a little bit late in the game, they kind of started leaning on us a little bit just with their size. They're really good on special teams. Their kicker kicked, 4 or 5 field goals. I mean, I think that's more than we kicked the entire year combined.
And they were long field goals.
They were long, he's really good. And you're going to start the 20 every single time. Yeah. So I think the kicker's a big weapon. Again, sometimes that's not something people talk about.
Yeah.
But that's a big deal.
That is
So they're really good on that. Thompson's obviously more explosive. Overall more talented. They just have players really everywhere. On both sides of the football. They're pretty explosive. So I think it'll be a good ball game. I think they're different.
Yeah.
I think Opelika is going to have to try to beat them the same way that they tried to beat us, which, one thing about that last game, we ran the least amount of plays that we'd run the entire season, to their credit. We had trouble getting them off the field a few times, and so I think that's going to be one of the, for them to have a chance to win, they're going to have to do that, And again, we made mistakes. I mean, you can't make mistakes. And they, Opelika, they had some guys in and out on defense throughout the year, their D-line especially, and they were all healthy.
Yeah.
Kind of got in the
Caught 'em at the
playoffs.
right,
You know what I
perfect
mean? They
storm.
kind of started coming back right before the playoffs started. Anyway, so, all those things matter. Special teams going to be a factor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think that's a big deal always in every football game. So, again, I think it's differing styles for sure, so it should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate
Thanks,
it, man.
Coach.
Coach Josh Floyd, Hewitt-Trussville Huskies. And look, Dylan Cope, don't punch me when you see me. I called you Derek. I know your name's Dylan. So on that note, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to talk a little bit of basketball.
Driving a family vehicle, riding around in a Bronco with the top down. Dobbs Ford is going to give you the best price, the most for your trade, and the best customer service.
At Dobbs Ford,
We're proud to support our local teams,
And our local families.
so come see us.
Whether it's a sports injury, life injury, or debilitating pain, soon you will be able to get the care you need when you need it at OS1 Sports Injury Clinic. No more lengthy and costly ER visits or forgoing treatment and suffering until a physician can see you. This spring, you will be able to make an appointment or just walk in to our new location at the Pinnacle in Trussville and get back to living life sooner. Until then, you can always visit our Hoover location. To learn more, visit bettersooner.com or call 205-352-2911. We can't wait to take care of you.
Welcome back in. All right, Johnny, third segment for Bodines. Bodines Classic Cut and Color Coach's Corner. Head coach Brandon Easterwood of Springville High School. Coach, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for your patience. You had to listen to a lot of football, so now we get to talk to hoops a little bit.
Yes.
Well, talk about your tenure. I guess you've been there 4 years now at Springville, and your Tigers are off to a 7-0 start this year. So just talk about your season and what it's been like to be over there.
Yeah, actually, I've been at Springville for the last 10 years,
Okay.
and helped with basketball in some capacity for
Gotcha.
about 9 of those years. And just it's a program that's been dedicated to basketball and always been good, and they've always made it a priority, and I'm just kind of keeping that thing rolling. And we've had a really good start, 7-0. Just trying to keep our guys focused on what's next. We got area play coming up next week, and it's good to win your first 7 games, but it's not going to matter if you lose your next 7. So, but no, we have a really good group of guys that come to work every day. We try to make practice harder than games, and we try to be a really tough group that's really connected, and I think they've bought into that this year.
Yeah.
Coach, talk about what it takes. As you said, the school's committed to having good basketball. They're committed to having good sports all around. I think you would agree. Talk about what it takes to just kind of keep that ball rolling in your 4 years as the head coach, picking up off of your years as an assistant.
Well, I think it starts with having a good youth program. Having kids that buy into it from an early age. Having groups that are together at an early age. Coach Floyd talked about that just a second ago, about how his kids grew up together playing the sport and how important it was to them. So we try to make it important at Springville, and we try to teach them the values of the sport and life lessons, and also kind of make them good at basketball at the same time and teach them some skills. But no, I think just having kids that buy in from an early age and just building that culture, it goes a long way.
All right, well, Coach, you brought a couple of players with you, Lucas Scroggins and Josh Ho. Welcome in, guys. All right, we'll talk about your year so far.
We start off hot. We got to continue to, bring the pressure that we do against every team, keep the energy up, play together, and we can go far.
Gotcha.
I was very excited starting this year just because of how we did last year, and we are more together this year than we have been in past years. Just go into other tournaments in the summer. you can easily tell that this year's more a team-like team, and we're all like willing to do whatever to win.
Gotcha.
Good. Talk about being leaders on this team. Excuse me. You guys are seniors. Got a couple more seniors in the house with you tonight. Talk about what it means to be leaders on this team and how you feel like what you feel like your role is in leading this team.
Keep everybody focused. Let them know that just because we won one game doesn't mean we're about to win the next one. We've got to work hard, stay together, continue to just do everything that we're doing now.
Just letting this group know that we got to keep our head focused. Got to stay in the game whenever it happens. Like this year, we have a really fast-paced team, play really fast-paced, and we got to make sure that we just are focused and locked into what we're doing.
Gotcha. Coach, talk about the area. You mentioned that you are about to jump into area play. Talk about your area and and I'm sure it's not easy.
No, there's no such thing as an easy area, in my opinion. But those games become very meaningful. We've got Hayden, who made it to the Elite Eight last year. They've got several players back. They'll be very tough. Play them next Friday, and then we play Center Point Monday next week. So, and we know that they've continuously gotten better over the last couple of years. And then Corner is another team. Corner's off to a hot start. They're 8-0 and we know what they're all about. So I don't think there's a game that we can come in and look past another team. We can't take anybody for granted. I think the guys are right. They need to stay focused, and this team is very together. They're very connected, and that's going to help us. That's going to help us go far.
Yeah.
Coach, talk about your out of area schedule. I know we had Coach House on a few weeks ago, and he was talking about how his girls, he purposely has scheduled really tough games. Talk a little bit about your out of area schedule for this year.
Well, I was telling Coach Monso we're going to be heading down to Mobile in a couple of weeks and playing in UMS Wright's Christmas tournament, and we're going to get the 4A state champs in Jackson the first game, and it's a challenge, but it's accepted, and I think you got to put your team in those type of games to see where you're at and to see where you need to build and get better. So no, we try to play big opponents and play the best teams that we can and learn from it. It's not about getting wins all the time. Sometimes you can learn from losses as well. So,
what was it Jerry Hood said? A lot of lessons come from a good butt kicking.
Yes,
that was last year after Briarwood.
That is attributed to Jerry Hood.
yes, 100%.
No, we played Briarwood. We played Mortimer Jordan. We played, we played Fort Payne. Fort Payne's got a really good team. So we've started with some tough games already. Outside of our area. So, it's one of those things where you play those teams like Coach House said, so that you can get ready for those area games, because we know it's not getting any easier. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned a couple of teams outside of the area. If you're looking at 5A in general, who do you expect to be some of the top, maybe top 4 teams that are going to be in Birmingham?
Well, immediately I know that we're going to cross with Winona and Sipsey Valley and Northside and John Carroll. So we have a very tough cross. Winona, I think, was ranked number 1 in the first preseason poll. So, just to get past that game for us would be outstanding. We just, I know Ramsey's got a lot of people back. We played them last year at Ramsey. So, I look at those types of teams first. I know Ramsey's in Leeds and Moody's area, so we're familiar with them. So. But there's some good teams right around the house too. So in our own county, this is probably the best our county has been in the last several years. So it's going to be tough to win the county championship as well as make it to an area championship or maybe even the sub-regionals.
Yeah. All right. Well, as we get ready to close out, just talk a little bit about some of your mentors that you had in basketball. Who really set that fire within you to I really want to coach basketball?
Well, my mentor is Jeff Smith at Springville. He was there for forever, and I came to Springville to work with Coach Smith, and we still have a great relationship. He comes to school often, leads a Bible study, and he was just that guy that for me that just kind of lit that desire, that passion for basketball, and showed me what it takes to push these kids at a high level and get a lot out of them. So, I really thank him. And Coach House a lot, too. Coach House as well has been that other guy. Having 2 veterans there, that was that was a big selling point for me to come to Springville. So I've really enjoyed working with both of those guys.
Yeah, we always enjoy having Coach House on here, trying to figure out how many years he's been coaching, in what sport he's been coaching for this young.
And all the classes he teaches and all the other things, departments he's over.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right.
Full schedule.
He does a lot.
Yeah, full schedule. Well, Lucas, Josh, thank you guys for coming in. We appreciate it. Coach Easterwood, we appreciate you coming in. 7-0 is a great start. That's the way you want to start it out before you jump into area play. And thank you so much for coming in.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with your Hewitt-Trussville Huskies.
It's Friday night under the lights.
Your hometown heroes are ready to deliver another big win.
And just like the team on the field this year, Domsport is ready to deliver a big performance this season.
Whether you're hauling a camper, driving a family vehicle, riding around in a Bronco with the top down, Domsport is going to give you the best price, the most for your trade, and the best customer service.
At Dobbs Ford,
We're proud to support our local teams.
And our local families.
So come see us.
Whether it's a sports injury, life injury, or debilitating pain, soon you will be able to get the care you need when you need it at OS1 Sports Injury Clinic. No more lengthy and costly ER visits or forgoing treatment and suffering until a physician can see you. This spring, you will be able to make an appointment or just walk in to our new location at the Pinnacle in Trussville and get back to living life sooner. Until then, you can always visit our Hoover location. To learn more, visit bettersooner.com or call 205-352-2911. We can't wait to take care of you.
Welcome back in. Johnny, we are not done talking basketball.
We're not.
We've still got one to go. And Bodine's, they are getting worn out. This is segment number 4. You're going to have to tell Tina that we had 4 segments.
I will. I'll tell her, and she'll be happy about it. And Brad, the boss.
That's right. Yeah. He's the one that pays the bills, I'm sure.
Yes, he is. Certainly.
All right. Let's welcome in Jeremy Monceau of Hewitt-Trussville. Welcome in, Coach.
Good. How are we doing?
Doing great. Look, you brought 3 guys with you tonight. Yeah. Ryan Phelps, he's a senior. Tyler Wilson, you're a sophomore. And Pierce Heinzman, you're a senior also. Welcome in, guys. All right, so like we mentioned, you're off to a 7-2 start. You're in your 4th year now at Hewitt. Yep. And little segue there, you came from Springville.
Yeah, I was there
so that's
1
a
year.
nice continuity right there.
For sure.
Dovetail into that. So talk about your season so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been a crazy year, probably the craziest start to a season we've ever had. Obviously I am in my 4th year. The year before we got there, I think they had won 7 games, and we've been able to get to the 20-win mark back-to-back years going into this year. We've been ranked in the top 10, pretty much every year I've been here. I think the last ranking came out, we were 5th or 6th, so kind of excited about, hey, year 4, you're building it, the culture's where you want it to be, the players that are in our program are the right kind of kids you want on the bus. We start the season, and we lose 2 seniors. We lose 2 seniors, 2 starting seniors as far as the amount of minutes that they played. Like in the first week of the season, and we had Evan Chandler who went down with just a freak ACL injury on a rebound, and then we get into the next game, and Colt Wells, who's been a 3-year starter for us, and really a young man that kind of just exemplifies everything that we want in a young man in our program, goes down with just the most freak and
terrible, ankle injury that required a pretty significant surgery of a couple of plates, a couple of screws. And so, it really kind of was just this whirlwind to start. And we've been trying to patch and play. And with the schedule we've played, and these young men are a big part of it, for us to kind of have rebounded that and to be 7-2 and beat an Austin and a Whitehurst Christian and a Helena and some of the teams we've played. And obviously we play Gadsden City tomorrow, but one of our losses is the Gadsden City, who's the number 1 team in the state. And our only other losses to Auburn, who, is probably top 3 in 7A. I couldn't be more proud of just our players. Listen, we coach, man, we yell, scream, and coach. It's those guys that really got to go watch a teammate, struggle like our 2 young men have and have to practice and go play in those games. And so I couldn't really, all the credit goes to them. Our staff works hard and we try our best to put them in a great position, but our players are who I'm most proud of for this start that we've got off of, which is good, but hopefully we're still, hungry for some more.
Yeah, piggybacking off of that, talk about having, I know you hear teams talk about next man up mentality. Talk about being a coach, preparing guys for the surprises like the big injuries that you're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Well, listen, I'm just an honest guy. So every time a coach says we've got to be next man up, he really don't want that to happen. Right. He doesn't mean it at all. He just wants those guys to give the same effort as they were if they were a starter and trying to just demand starter effort from every guy throughout the program. Yeah. But to actually have to deal with it and to watch guys, step into those roles. Tyler, played a lot of minutes for us as a freshman, but, and probably would have worked his way into, the starting lineup by the end of the year. But he came fresh out of football in game 2. He's playing 16 minutes in the game, like game 2. He had 1 practice and we rolled him out there. Wow. And, and then obviously, Pierce and Ryan, to the other extent, have been guys that have just been with us for 4 years and played freshman and worked hard and played sophomore and worked hard and played their junior years and saw kind of those limited backup minutes, and then as seniors are being asked to do a lot, and now with these injuries being asked to do a lot more. So really these 2 guys just kind of represent everything in our program. A young and talented young man who's kind of had to been thrown into the, hey, you're the guy kind of thing a little earlier than maybe he thought or we thought, and then 2 guys who have just been stables and just constant everyday young men, and now have been, because of injuries and then because of their age and seniors, been thrust into leadership roles and big minute roles on the floor. And, we're still growing and learning. We got a lot of guys that are playing varsity minutes that really hadn't seen a whole lot. And that's probably why I've been so excited about our start, because we are playing well. We're doing some good things. We're doing some really good things, but the ceiling for our improvement is really still high, and we're hoping that continues until January.
Gotcha. Ryan and Pierce, he talked about that you guys have been there the whole time. You were there for his first year as freshmen. Talk about what it's like to play for him and just what you've learned over these last 3 years as you're going into your final year.
I think he's developed me into a hardworking person, like the man who I am today. And, he does have a little fire under his soul, but, you deal with that, and that's what makes us who we are, and that makes us Hewitt-Trussville, I think.
Most of the people don't like all the yelling and screaming, but I kind of like it when he gets on to some people to get them ready for, anything. Yeah. And he's really made me a good man on and off the court.
Gotcha. Tyler, he mentioned that you came over from the football team. No rest for the weary. You had to jump right into it. Yeah. Any other players? Is Woogie, does he play basketball also?
He does.
Okay.
He's still dealing with some injuries and some things that have happened from football, so he's kind of been in and out. And then the other thing for Woogie is he's in the North-South game, and we want to make sure he's healthy for that. But so not to get off on football game because it's basketball season.
That's right.
But yeah. So we'll slowly roll him out there as he gets healthy.
Yeah.
Guys, talk about we're going back to the injuries. Talk about your preparation taking up slack, entering in new starters, guys who haven't started in place of those guys. Talk about the challenges that has posed and how you've dealt with them. We'll start on the left and go to the right.
Yeah, it's just crazy, that you never hope that on anybody, and that somebody has to step up and take their spot. And, yeah, we know that Cash Langston, he's a junior, and we know that he can come in there and be ready for it. We work every day. We push him to be who he is today, and he's done great.
Yes, like Ryan said, Cash Langston coming in, being a big player on our team, we work hard every day at practice. Our depth chart, we have a lot of players that can go at any time. Me, Cash, Baylor, everybody can go. So I feel like that. I was working hard at practice every day, knowing that Colt Wells, when he got hurt, knowing that we can go out there, and still compete the same way we was when he was there.
Yeah, I mean, the injuries were pretty, tragic, but I think seeing those injuries made us, more connected as a team, and we realized there's a bigger goal at hand, and that's getting out of the area and going into the playoffs.
Well, Johnny and I are big fans of social media, watching who has a good, strong game. The Husky basketball program seems to have a good one. You put good graphics up. We're able to follow you. And where I'm going with this is that everything surrounding the program, the games at the bank, it seems like there's good fan support. There's good student support. Sure. Lance Walker, we know he supports all the programs. But just talk about what coaching at Hewitt, what that affords you as a coach to be able to just do a lot of things and even overcome injuries like that, where you've got players that you can pull from. And just talk overall about the Hewitt experience.
Yeah, well, first of all, Trussville, Hewitt, I did college for 9 years, and before I got into high school head coaching and had the awesome opportunity to be at a couple of local schools that you guys cover. Hewitt for me was always just kind of my dream job and where I wanted to be. I saw it as a little bit of a sleeping giant, I guess, or at least a place where we should be competitive every year, that, we might not win a state championship every year, because as Coach has mentioned, there's only one, but that there would be a day where, we'd be a tough out on the basketball floor, which had not really been done before. The social media and just the opportunity that we're able to give these young men through the game of basketball, their high school athletic experience. To me, that's really about the kids. I want our players to see themselves on social media. I want game days to be fun and us to have as many billboards and shiny graphics and lights and camera action as we can get. We actually have, more things coming and more things planned, as far as just facility renovations and trying to make the game day experience better. And, as much as that's for us, it's really about the kids. A coach mentioned it earlier, and again, I just always want to, commend our young men, but, 7A, 6A athletics now has really turned into small college athletics. Our kids we demand from our kids a year-round commitment. They're in the weight room and on the floor year-round. There's a preseason, an in-season, and then an off-season. And even more than ever, your coaches are even have a little more pressure on them to win. As you've alluded to with guys getting outed in 1 year. So with all that pressure, needs to come some fun. It needs to come some, hey, we want to, travel and go eat at the best restaurants and travel the right way. And we want you guys to see yourself on social media. And I want things that when they leave here, and whether they go to play a sport or whether they go like Pierce, who's a 34 ACT and going to be an incredible engineer one day, I want him to remember his, senior year at Hewitt-Trussville basketball and say, man, that was a lot of fun. Coach demanded a lot for us, and we had to work hard, and I don't know if I'd want to go through practice again, but that was a lot of fun. And that's just what we're trying to create. But there's a lot of hard work that goes into that fun. I tell our players all the time, not everybody can be a Husky, because we demand certain things. You have to work, and we work every day, and the day that you think you're going to get off, we're going to go work harder. And so when we get our opportunity to make it fun and an enjoyable experience for them on game days and with all the extra stuff. We love to do it in our program at Trussville, and because of the hard work of our superintendent and our AD allows us, the opportunity to do that. So it's really about those guys over there, and we want to win some games for sure. I have dreams of bringing a map back to Trussville for basketball, and I think we're going to do it. Our middle school teams are loaded right now, and it's because of our hard work with our youth, as Coach had mentioned from Springville earlier. But it's really about these young men, and that's why I wanted to bring 3. I wish we could have the whole team here. I really do, because they all deserve it, man. They all deserve it, and we're focused and we're working hard, and we have a tough schedule, but we're expecting a great season this year.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna run the risk of making you mad. I'm gonna get you to talk about 2 things.
Okay, let's roll with it.
You play in a tough area.
Sure.
You went 20-11 last year.
Yeah.
And didn't get in the playoffs.
Sure.
That's number 1. Number 2, the shot clock.
That's right. You've seen my other stuff. So
I have. So if you can just comment quickly on those 2
Yeah,
things.
quickly. Well, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I'll give my quick thing with the playoffs is, we just have a playoff system that doesn't always reward the best teams. And so that people don't think I'm crazy. Not that we would have been a state championship contender because of the playoff system, but, we dang sure would have been Elite 8, Sweet 16, opportunity there. I mean, we're playing these first round knockoff games against a Vestavia who's also 25-6, and going, to the Elite 8s. We're playing those teams, and for a 1-game elimination. But then you've got some team down in, let's say, the Mobile area who's 7-24, who you beat by 30, and they're making Elite 8. So I just think the playoff system needs a revamp. Yeah. And then the shot clock's going to happen, man. I mean, they're playing with it.
Happen.
Yeah, it's got. Hey, and just so you know, we're playing with it at every home game that are non-area, just because it's just so much fun to play with it, and the pace of the game. I think the kids enjoy it. It just speeds it up just enough. I mean, there's still enough time to run good offense and do all the crazy stuff coaches can think of, but it also just makes it about that much more exciting for the people watching it and for the players playing it. And we're pretty good defensively, so it sure helps us out to not have to guard somebody for a minute and a half.
Yeah.
But I don't want to dog people. I think those changes are coming. Yeah. It happens in other states faster than it happens here. And as somebody who's working hard with a lot of coaches in the area to try to get these changes to happen, we just think like we're 3 and 4 years into these discussions. At what point do we start making these changes for the benefit of the game and the young men who play it? Like, I'll coach it regardless, but it's really about the young men who play it and the game as a whole in our state. So I think we're headed in the right direction. We've had some good meetings at the state level, and we've got enough crazy coaches like me that are willing to push the envelope on that, and so we're headed there for sure.
Good.
Well, I mean, if you're looking, and you're talking about recruiting, you're looking at statistics. It's not apples to apples.
No, it's
when
not.
When you've got somebody a state with a shot clock, they're getting a lot more shots than the other kids.
For sure. And and even the shot clock is really just about pace of play. It's about and it doesn't even show itself. But you've been to those regional games where somebody's holding the ball for 3.5 minutes to start the fourth quarter, and somebody paid $17 to get in there, and they're yawning or booing or or like me saying, hey, let's go get some food. Like one of the 3. And then the playoff thing. I just think the goal should be in whatever sport. This isn't this is varsity high level 7A basketball. We're trying to get our best teams there, and in our area, who has great coaches and great players, there's a chance that there's a poll going to come out where all 4 teams in our area are ranked in the top 10. Yeah. And that means that there's some other areas that have teams that aren't in there. So that to me it's just, and then again, I would say that whether it was our area or if I was down in 01, because at the end of the day, I think when the competition, when the best are playing the best, that means we're putting the best product out there in our sport, which is the best thing for our sport. Yep. And so Georgia just passed a rule that through every sport and every classification, when they get to the playoffs, they will rank 1 through whatever and have a tournament style seeded tournament. And I'm just like, well, if they can do it at a blink, why can't we here in the great state of Alabama do it at a blink? So we're going to get it done, but it's coming. It's coming.
Well, guys, talk about the atmosphere in the bank. Tell me what it's like, when it's really rocking, the crowd's into it, you're in a big area game. Just talk about that experience.
Yeah, I mean, hypes you up, makes why you want to play basketball at the varsity level. And, yeah, I mean.
Want the ball in your hands.
That's right.
Yeah, especially around regional, when you get a region play, it gets crazy in there, especially at the bank. When we played at Hoover last year, it was rocking, bro.
Yeah.
I love it. I love everything. I love all the people. They're loud. It gets crazy in there. It's just fun to play in.
That's fun.
For sure, and before, I think we have the most beautiful facility in high school basketball, man. There's some people who've been like, it's too big and this, and I'm like, no, because there's going to be a day you're going to walk in there and try to figure out where you're going to sit. And that's coming. So, we're hoping the fans come.
Yeah.
Man, our kids work so hard. We had our first shot clock game a couple of days ago, and we held them suckers, had 3 shot clock violations. Guys are diving on the floor. The bench is rowdy. Like, our young men, they deserve that environment. They work so hard to represent our community and our town and deal with me while they do it. And so, those home games to me are the present that they get for working so hard. So I hope our community will continue to come out and support these guys. And we play Gadsden City tomorrow at home. Would love to see them.
Did you hear what he said?
Let's be there.
Gadsden City tomorrow. Number 1 team in the state.
That's right. Number 1 team. We'll set 7 o'clock tip. It'll be on time. We got good food at the concession, and it'll be some shot clock will be rolling and be some fun basketball. So let's see you there.
You've got no reason to not be there.
0.
That's it. Well, I got a couple of fun questions before we close it out. Anybody that's from Birmingham that followed basketball knew how you could light it up.
Oh, man.
So, when you're in the middle of coaching, and there's like 3 seconds on the clock, and you've got to have that one shot, how much do you really wish you could be out there and have that chance to take that shot?
I don't know. I think 0. Yeah. Nah. The good thing for me is I got guys like them over there and Dalton Black and the young men that aren't with us tonight that I've seen them make a lot more here recently than I've seen me make. So to be honest with you, even if I was an option, I'm not the first option anymore. So.
We'll change that up a little bit.
Yeah.
When Coach was in his prime, do you think any of you 3 could cover him?
That's fantastic.
That's probably going to get you some stadium.
Nah, we're good. I like it. I like that for sure.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys represented Hewitt very well. Coach, thank you for coming in.
Yes, sir. Always. Love
and,
it. Love when we get
you told everybody, so they're going to be out at the game.
Yeah, hope so.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. You're tired of us, but we got to go back to football, so we'll be right back.
It's Friday night under the lights.
Your hometown heroes are ready to deliver another big win.
And just like the team on the field this year, Domsport is ready to deliver a big performance this season.
Whether you're hauling a camper, driving a family vehicle, riding around in a Bronco with the top down, Domsport is going to give you the best price, the most for your trade, and the best customer service.
At Dobbs Ford,
we're proud to support our local teams.
And our local families.
So come see us.
Whether it's a sports injury, life injury, or debilitating pain, soon you will be able to get the care you need when you need it at OS1 Sports Injury Clinic. No more lengthy and costly ER visits or forgoing treatment and suffering until a physician can see you. This spring, you will be able to make an appointment or just walk in to our new location at the Pinnacle in Trussville and get back to living life sooner. Until then, you can always visit our Hoover location. To learn more, visit bettersooner.com or call 205-352-2911. We can't wait to take care of you.
right, welcome back in. All right, Johnny, we do have a football helmet in front of us.
We do.
We talked a little basketball, but it's time to get down to business.
It is.
It is Super 7 week, and we have a couple of teams still in the running for it.
Right.
So let's talk about Moody first, and the Moody segment's brought to you by W.C. Wright. They're there for you for all your heating, your cooling, your plumbing, your generator needs, so give them a call. Moody at Scottsboro, 35-10 win. And they punched their ticket, as I think you posted that he's not a prophet or a son of a prophet, but Jake foretold that he would be back to Protective Stadium.
Yeah, Jake and Ron Ingram together.
That's it, absolutely. So you covered that game, so tell me a little bit about that win over Scottsboro.
Yeah, you know, watching the game early on, I was concerned. You know, Scottsboro jumped up 7-0 on them. You know, the first drive, Moody was pinned back pretty deep, didn't get anything going on offense. You know, punted the ball. Scottsboro marched it down, scored. You know, I kind of expected that one to be a blowout, and at that point in time, I was like, wow, Scottsboro is better than I thought they were. Yeah. You know, Moody scored, I believe it was 14 unanswered. After that, got started with Aubrey Walker catching a Jake Lowry touchdown, then Kevin James added a touchdown there at the end of the first quarter. It was 14-7. You started thinking, well, they're gonna start rolling. But, you know, Scottsboro didn't go away. They kicked a field goal. But, you know, the very next play was a 60-yard touchdown to Squirrel White's little brother, Aiden White, Chipmunk, as Coach Gaines calls him. Third quarter, they went scoreless. They played a lot of defense. Not much went on. Not much happened there. I think there was in that quarter, Jake Lowry threw his only interception of the game, and it was actually a tipped ball that went up in the air, and Scottsboro came down with it. But you know, so at 21-10 going into the fourth quarter, Kevin James got another 9-yard touchdown after a nice drive. The one thing that was a little concerning is somewhere in there, Josiah Dozier had a really good punt return down to the 9-yard line, and Moody couldn't capitalize, and they got a field goal blocked. But you know, Moody. We talk about Clay. We talk about Moody. When the switch needs to flip, it flips. You know, it's almost like complaining about when Clay beat Jackson Owen. You know, Moody beat a playoff team in the semifinals by 25 points.
Yeah, that's
and
nothing
you go,
to
and you go, man, that's a little concerning. Some of the things. The biggest concern would be some of the what I think all the coaches would agree to is dumb penalties.
Yeah.
There were some after the play penalties, some personal fouls that you know Moody in the past has done. This year they've been about as clean as they've been in a long time on that. So this game kind of maybe a step back in that area, but really Moody's clicking on all cylinders. Jake he's got 4 receivers that he can throw to. He's got three running backs who you know are really good. Cameron Meadows is he's carrying the brunt of that, but you know he's got when he needs a breather. Kevin James and Juju Hill can come in and spell him and very little drop off. And you know the stats will tell. Meadows went 11 carries for 110 yards and no touchdowns, but Kevin James had 7 carries, 56 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So, you know, they complement each other really well. That offense is clicking. The defense is nasty. Yeah. They really are. Cam Mallory, Henry Smith, those guys on the front. Jagger Ludoff. Noah Hicks got involved in the score. Yeah. He took a backward pass that got tipped on the ground, and nobody knew it was a live ball except for him. And he took it for about 30-something yards for a touchdown. But, you know, Thursday night, clean up penalties, get a little bit faster start, and we'll be over at Ferris with a blue map.
Absolutely.
Next Monday night. So.
Absolutely. That's going to be fun. So, well, let's pivot over to talk about Clay Chalkville in the Clay segment. It's brought to you by New Day Car Wash. Text what?
Text DAY to 41136.
Yeah, that may be the last time we do that this year, so we had to make sure we get that in.
Be.
We'll do it at Ferris's.
We'll do it at Ferris,
yeah. So Clay took the trip a couple hours up north to play Muscle Shoals, who was highly ranked, the #1 defense in Class 6A, and they came away with a 30-13 win. They really dominated Muscle Shoals defensively. Muscle Shoals had in fact, we're looking at it, the quarterback had a 45-yard run but the Trojans ended up with only 43 yards rushing. So tell me what happened there.
Dominance on
and
defense.
they held Muscle Shoals to 212 yards of total offense. And we see that guy right there, and he was phenomenal. Aaron Fry, 286 total yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions. He was accounting for points left and right. Here's a beautiful pass to Jakari Johnson pretty much right before half. And they were really dominant. I mean, you look at Josh Woods. He is continuing to get work done on the ground, 118 yards rushing. He had 34 yards receiving. He didn't score a touchdown rushing, but he caught 1 receiving.
And he looked like a receiver catching the ball.
Yeah, he really did, especially when he cut back. But we talk about Aaron Fry. He was 15 of 21, so he's very efficient, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then with his legs, 18 carries, 148 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So it was a dominating performance by Clay. I think any time that you can move the ball, you can score that many points, you can rack up that many yards on a defense that they were only giving up 9.3 points a game. And it was a dominant performance. And so I think what Clay's got to do is to continue to play at the high level that they're playing. They've just got to be able to finish this out. And, Saraland, we'll talk about that in the picks, but this is going to be the 3rd time that they have faced Saraland in the state championship game. They did so back in 2014 and 2023.
Yep.
And we had the opportunity to watch that fantastic game in 2023, and that was one for the ages there. But, man, I've got to recognize Keith Richmond on the defensive side, the Terminator, Colton McIntyre, Big Baby. They really dominated at the line of scrimmage from a defensive standpoint. And I know that Coach Floyd is extremely pleased with how his team played to go up into a hostile environment. And, we listened to a lot of different shows and a lot of different people. And there were a lot of people convinced that Muscle Shoals was going to pull the upset.
Yeah.
And not only did that happen, it was not even close to happening.
It was not.
So
Never in doubt.
No doubt. So, we talked about Aaron Fry, so let's go ahead and make the announcement. Aaron Fry, is our Ortho Alabama Spine and Sports Player of the Week for his contributions for the Cougars. Fantastic effort.
And typically we would have those guys in studio, but they are getting ready to win a state championship, so we're just kind of leaving coaches and football players alone right now. Until next week. We want them there next week. But
big celebration. You got to be there and bring them out.
Got to be there. That's right.
So, absolutely. So, all right, Johnny, this is getting much and much smaller.
It is.
But we cannot let the show go by without doing Bracketology 101 with Colonel Sanders.
That's right. Bracketology 101, pretty quick tonight. Both teams, the first one we're going to start off with Moody and Viger.
Yep.
Both teams are 12-2, coming off of big wins. They've played no common opponents. Viger's big win was Williamson this past week. They avenged that loss. Williamson, if you notice that name, they put up 100 points in a game this year. Pretty good team. So Viger beat them after losing to them in overtime. Moody pretty much has dominated any team that they've played, not in 6A and 7A, and they dominated one 6A team and kept it close with Helena. We did the numbers before, so I'll give you the numbers. Moody scores 39 points per game and allows 18, but when they're not playing Gainesville or Auburn, they allow 13 points a game. So as you said earlier, almost a touchdown difference when they're not playing 7A schools. So 13 points per game. Viger also allows 13 points per game, and they score 35. So it's a pretty even match here. I think the difference for me, and we'll talk more about it in our picks, the difference for me is the competition that they've played against. We've seen Moody dominate a team like Oxford. We've seen Moody beat a team like Helena and play against teams like Auburn and Gainesville. So I have no doubt that this is going to be a great game. This is going to be a phenomenal football game between these two. Like I said, they've never played one another, and no common opponents. Clay and Saraland, both undefeated. Clay's 14-0. Saraland is 13-0. Clay played one more game during the season. They don't have any common opponents, being that Saraland's down in the south. Clay is 2-0 against Saraland all time. Neither team is a stranger to the Super 7. The last time, as you talked about, it was Jalen Mbakwe versus Ryan Williams.
One for the and it came down right at the end at the goal line.
It did. It came down right to the end. And what was funny is, in order to beat Saraland, they had to get Jalen Mbakwe to cover Ryan Williams. Best of friends playing at Bama right now.
Yep.
Again, should be a great game. 2023 that year, Bach, Craver, a few other really good players on that team. And Clay won 31-28. As far as the numbers, Clay scores 46 points per game and allows 12. Saraland 42 points per game and allow 13. So these two games are almost mirror images. You got teams that we know a lot about and teams that we don't know a lot about. But if we look kind of at the landscape, as I said to you off camera earlier, I don't believe Saraland has played anybody as good as Thompson this year. In their regular season. Clay has played that. It's just like Moody. They've seen tougher competition. Now, does that equal a win? No. It depends on who shows up on Friday night. But this is going to be I think both of these games are going to be quite possibly the best games we see in championship week. So I'm excited to be there Thursday and Friday.
I agree with you, man. It is. It's the Mobile area versus Tribune land.
That's right. And,
Laker chances.
Yes.
All right. Well, speaking of chances, let's go ahead and get into our picks, and we'll probably have Tyler and his brother, who's over there producing. They'll probably throw in their picks since we don't have any players on board here.
Yeah, there you go. They'll just yell them across the room to us.
That's it.
And we'll tell you what they say. So first up, obviously Moody and Viger. Again, I think it's going to be a really good game. It's going to be a close game. I think Moody has got that bad taste in their mouth from last year. I know the coaches do. The players that were there do. What killed them last year was they got down 14-0.
Yeah.
What's been a concern all year is slow starts.
Yeah.
I think we've also seen them not start slow. We've seen them come out and just pound people.
Yeah.
I think we get that Moody team. I think they meet some resistance with Viger. Viger's a better team than they've played in a while. But I do believe Moody comes out on top in this one.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be a great game. It may be one of the best if you're looking on paper. I mean, there's an argument that a couple of other classes could have great games, but I mean, I think this is going to be a fantastic game. You've got speed, you've got everything you want to out of Viger. Viger's been here before, but the one thing that just sticks with me, and we saw it in person when we sat in the press conference, and you could see Jake was he was upset about the loss, but he was plotting right then.
Yeah.
As soon as that clock, after he did everything that he had to do, the gears were turning.
Yeah.
And when he said, "You'll see us next year," that wasn't just a thing. He truly believed that.
Yeah.
And they're back. So, yeah, I say that's going to be a Moody victory, and they bring home their first blue map. And this is going to be one of the biggest transitions from a program that had really not had success to the top of the mountain now.
That's
so,
right.
yeah, this is going to be Moody. So,
Tyler?
Can't go wrong with 4 left boys.
That's it.
Big Moody.
Moody.
Yeah,
All right, there you go.
Moody.
Our
4 for 4.
producers, 4 for 4.
Producers are going Moody. All right, the other one, Clay and Saraland. I'm not going to pick against Big Clay this year. I think it's going to be really cool and be on the lookout for a potential story to see Stuart Floyd win a state championship as a coach.
Man.
The full circle moment. Stuart Floyd won the first state championship as the quarterback at Clay Chalkville, became a coach at Clay Chalkville, left, came back,
won another
one, and then became the head coach and wins another one. I don't think there's any stopping this team. Again, close game. All respect to Saraland.
Absolutely.
Like they're a great team. I got no idea. I don't think this is going to be a 40-something. I hope it is. Don't get me wrong. I hope it's 45-0.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Big Clay, but I'm going with Clay in this one.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think everything that you said, Johnny, spot on. Big Clay.
Clay over everybody.
Hey, Clay over everybody. All right.
That's it. 4 for 4.
We got it all.
That's it. All right. Well, we went a little long tonight. We appreciate you guys sticking with us. We had a little basketball. We had football. Had to get Coach George Bates in here. Had to get Coach Floyd in here. And we just appreciate you guys sticking with us through the year. This is the last of the official shows. We'll have a couple of shows coming up. Lord willing, and everything goes well, we will have Clay and Moody and the Moody girls.
That's right.
Celebrating state championships. We hope to have 3 blue maps over at Ferris's across the street. Monday night, we'll have a big show over there. Excuse me. And then a few weeks later, we'll put together our all Tribune team, and we'll do a show for that. And then we're still mulling around ideas to cover basketball, baseball, softball. That may be in studio, that may be remotely, we're not sure. But we just really appreciate all our sponsors, Dobbs Ford for presenting the show, New Day Car Wash, Mi Tierra Linda. We've got so many sponsors. A-Plus Auto and Tire. Bodines. We've got so many sponsors, and we really appreciate you guys. Tyler, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. You've got some help here over the last few weeks, but for our audience that doesn't know, Tyler is a student at Auburn, and he makes the drive up and really does a lot of sacrifice to get this done, and he has put his stamp on the program and has just done a fabulous job, and I think he's made us better this year.
100%.
And so we really appreciate you and everything that you've done. And so, man, that's it.
That.
All right.
All right.
Well, we will see you guys hopefully Monday night.
It's Friday night under the lights.
Your hometown heroes are ready to deliver another big win.
And just like the team on the field this year, Dobbs Ford is ready to deliver a big performance this season.
Whether you're hauling a camper, driving a family vehicle, riding around in a Bronco with the top down, Dobbs Ford is going to give you the best price, the most for your trade, and the best customer service.
At Dobbs Ford,
we're proud to support our local teams.
And our local families.
So come see us.
Whether it's a sports injury, life injury, or debilitating pain, soon you will be able to get the care you need when you need it at OS1 Sports Injury Clinic. No more lengthy and costly ER visits or forgoing treatment and suffering until a physician can see you. This spring, you will be able to make an appointment or just walk in to our new location at the Pinnacle in Trussville and get back to living life sooner. Until then, you can always visit our Hoover location. To learn more, visit bettersooner.com or call 205-352-2911. We can't wait to take care of you.